Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 109 of the Xbox Hall of Gamers podcast. This week, I'm joined by Cameron.
Hey.
Keo.
Hey, everyone.
And our special guest, Arya.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for joining us. I'll do a quick spiel for our intro. This week, we're going to talk about video games. What a surprise. There's a fair amount of news, most of it depressing, but we've been playing a lot. And there's a little bit happening in the Game Pass front as well. We've got a couple of questions. And as always, we do the show live on Twitch. Xbox Hall of Gamers is the place to find us. You can come hang out with us in the chat. We've got our good friend Left for Legacy, our Patreon in there. Thanks for joining us, mate. And hopefully a few more show up. Oh, and it looks like we've got a spammer in the chat. Hang on. I gotta
already gone.
Okay, yeah, all right.
I was just about to ban somebody.
No, my wife has decided to join as well. All right. Well, I guess let's just get straight into it, and have a chat with you, Arya. I guess we'll start with who are you? What do you do? What's the big deal about you?
Okay, thank you so much. So my role at Toge Productions is the PR and communications manager. So I initiate and nurture relationships with entities outside the company, like media, influencers, platforms, other game devs and publishers, and everything in between. So yeah, that's the gist of it. But my daily job is press releases, manage events, attending events, manage media appointments, and yeah, some other things.
Right.
So we actually,
Cameron, I'm sure you've got lots of questions.
I was going to say, we actually met back in Gamescom last year.
Oh yeah.
Which was great to TIC and Toge sharing a booth and showing off. I guess we showed off 8 games there, indies.
Yeah, 8 games of 4 of ours and
4 of ours. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good to actually meet you guys, go out to a steakhouse.
I thought you had enough of me after Gamescom.
No, it was good. It was good. I like I guess for context for everybody listening, I work for another Southeast Asian developer now. So big fans of Toge, which I guess, do you want to let the listeners know who Toge are and where they would know Toge from?
Okay, so Toge is from Indonesia, just north of Australia. Is the place where Bali is, if you don't know. So, yeah, Toge was first built in 2009 by Chris Anthony and his partner. And yeah, we just celebrated our 15th birthday just 2 weeks ago. And we developed games like Coffee Talk and Coffee Talk 2. And then we also publish games like Space for the Unbound. And many games that we love to. At first, Toge is a strategy game developer, but since Coffee Talk, we see that the power of narrative is really great. So we want to add more narrative in our games. So yeah, the games like Coffee Talk and Coffee Talk 2 is the examples of that, and also Space for the Unbound, which was nominated in the Game Awards. We were very happy about it. Yeah, so I think we saw the power of narrative there. So we want to make more games like that.
Space for an Unbound actually ended up on our I championed it for our Game of the Year list last year.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
such a touching story.
Yeah, and he was the only one who'd played it at that point, but as soon as it was on that list, I went and played it last week, actually, and it's a fantastic game. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Coffee Talk 1 and 2, and so narrative in video games is something that's very near and dear to my heart. Cameron's more the kind to skip through cutscenes, but that's fine. No one's perfect.
Like if it's a good game, I will not skip through the cutscenes. But
Did you guys cry?
Yeah. But that's fantastic to hear, and yeah, the Space for the Unknown is absolutely fantastic, and we're so happy to have it on our Game of the Year list for the year.
So I guess, Arya, the question I want to know is like, how did you get into the game industry? How does one become a PR and communications manager?
Well, it's kind of long story. It's like 10 years of journey to become PR manager of Toge Productions. So the first when I was in college, like in 2012, I met a game studio called Agate from Indonesia. So if you have heard of Agate, it's one of the biggest gaming studio in Indonesia, but they are mainly focused on outsourcing client base like that. And so as a gamer, I think, wow, we have a game studio from Indonesia. That's something new. So I was really interested in it. So I like research about the studio and do they have any internship program there? Unfortunately, they don't have internship programs for like marketing positions because I was studying business management back in college, and my friend and I back then we want to go into the industry, but how? So I take any step that I can to go into the industry. Like I attended a programming session that I cannot do anything. So when I attended the session, I just I don't know what to do. But that moment proves to be crucial because they announced a gaming event that they held back then called Indonesia Bermain, which is literally translated into Indonesia Plays. So, okay, they are opening for volunteers. So, okay, I want to join the event. So there I met more people from the gaming industry. The company is called Kumara. So that company partnered with Agate, and they were the ones who manage the volunteers. So they have a media called segitiga.net. Triangle. Segitiga is triangle in English. So, okay, they have this kind of media, all right. So after the event, I wanted to, just feeling lucky. I applied to segitiga.net to become one of the contributors. I before that, I hated writing so much. I don't like writings, and because of that, I didn't finish my thesis. I didn't finish my college thesis, and I got dropped out. But for for the industry, I do anything. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
I
I get it.
applied the internship, and I got they received my internship. Then that's the start. I joined as an intern. I started to write about games, and then fast forward, I work in Tech in Asia, Tech in Asia Games, and then one of the biggest gaming media in Indonesia called Duniaku.net, and then I also work in a company called Game Reactor from Denmark. So it was the first, international work that I did. And then after that, in Game Reactor, actually, I don't really have, much freedom to write because I have to translate from the English Game Reactor into the Indonesian. So I don't have, there are quotas to fulfill, and yeah, I cannot, really review games and stuff like that. So I don't really see people. I work from home, and I like stressed out. I need to see people. So one time, the Indonesian Games Association opened a position as their program managers. So I applied, and I joined the association, and there I widened my network in the gaming industry, and I met Sarah Johanna from Toge Productions, and yeah, we became friends, and then it's just some luck. One day, a company called Iota Creative Media, so they are like half gaming studio, half creative studio, but they're not really focused on gaming. But like I said, if there's anything I can do to like one step to the industry, I do it. So okay, I joined the company, but unfortunately, it didn't last, only 3 months, and then after that, I was unemployed for like 3 months. It was this last year, from January to March. But in February, Toge Production opened a position as PR and communication manager. I applied, and because I have, experience in media, in writing articles, so I have some a good skill in writing press releases. So yeah, now I become the PR manager of Toge Productions, and I get to meet Cameron in Gamescom.
And we get to go out and have steak.
Yeah, and listen to my dad jokes.
Oh yeah, this guy trying to one up me with my dad jokes.
Oh, that's quite.
I completely forgot about that at Gamescom. Oh dear. I'm guessing all that time like working with like what was the Games Raptor, and that would have trained up your media like knowledge and like what you're looking at. I guess what media you're looking out for in terms of indie games and that as well, right? Does it make sense?
Yeah. So what the media are looking for, looking in indie games?
Yeah, I mean, like working for Games Raptor would have trained you up in terms of like what you're looking for, even though I guess it's not the kind of best job for social interaction and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I have a good overlook of the international gaming media, what did they want to cover. So yeah, it was not really full of experience, but I have the insight about what the international media, how did they work and stuff. So yeah, it's kind of helpful.
Cool. I guess
I'd look. Oh,
you
yeah,
go.
go ahead, Cameron.
No, you go. Let's go.
I was gonna say, like, I'd also love to hear about you and like in terms of like your personal gaming and that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, you mentioned up front that you were a gamer before you got into the industry, and that was kind of the thing that drove you to do it. What kinds of games, or like anything in your gaming history that you really love, or Yeah, like I don't like saying like what's your favorite game because that's like it's an impossible question, right? But like, are there
Yeah.
like genres that you're super into, or are you like a big narrative guy yourself and that kind of thing?
Well, not really a narrative kind of guy. But I grew up with strategy games like Age of Empires 2
Yes.
and Caesar 3,
Hmm.
Farah, and then recently I played Mount and Blade 2, Better Lords,
Hmm.
and then yeah, the previous one, the first Mount and Blade, and then recently I played the League of what is called not so successful, so I don't really remember.
Sure.
No, oh, the Lamplighters League, the
Oh,
Oh
Lamplighters.
Oh,
yes,
right.
yes,
yeah.
right, yeah, yep,
Mm.
yep.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It
agree with
was
that.
a decent game, but I kind of knew what is lacking. So yeah,
Mm.
so I think it's it's fair.
Yeah, no, that's understandable.
It's a shame. It's a game that I want to check out, but it's already kind of, I guess, end of life.
Mm.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, strategy games. And because of I love strategy games, and Toge is also developing one. It's called Tricks Front Tactics, and I love Front Mission 3
Oh,
back
yep.
then. So
Classic,
yeah, they did. It was one of my plus points.
for
nice.
sure. Cameron, you had some other questions?
Yeah, I guess like going back to Toge, celebrated the anniversary 2 weeks ago. I know that I always worry if is it Mojin? Am I pronouncing it correctly?
What?
Mojin Studios that developed a Space for the
Mo
Unbound.
Mojiken.
Mojiken. Okay, I
Mojiken.
knew I was butchering. Yeah, cool. Um,
Sure.
so they dropped what was it? Test 2 weeks ago. It was
Mhm.
a free game to Steam. I've noticed that Toge has the I guess the Game Jam games coming out this weekend. Do you
Yeah.
want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Test. It's like mind-blowing puzzle games. They are using ARG, alternate reality game.
Hmm?
So you must go outside the game to solve the puzzle. But yeah, I can't explain more than that because it would be a spoiler. But
Sure.
yeah, it's a really cool game. It's really mind-blowing. We love it so much. And I and it's kind of difficult, but that's the beauty of it because people just gather gather around to solve it together, and we already have a community because of it. So it's great to see, and um, you can you can wait for more from what you can about this game.
Yeah, cool.
All right.
And uh,
Looks really interesting. I'm definitely going to check it out.
it's free on Steam, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's free on Steam.
Cool.
Before that, it was free on itch.io, but now
Yeah,
it's available on Steam.
cool. And I guess do you want to talk about the Game Jam games that
Oh yeah.
or can you talk about them? I guess is the question.
So we are going to announce those games later, but I can tell you that it's going to be very interesting. We have various kinds of genre uh, prepared for you guys. So we are exciting to wait for your reactions about our these games. It is so Mojiken was just merged into Toge, right? Last November, and this is the first collaboration of Mojiken and Toge Productions. So we are merging the team. So it is the first time they are working together, and I cannot wait to see it's gonna, we want to announce it so bad. Yeah.
I'm so excited. That sounds great.
And he's gonna announce one hit. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put you on the spot.
So suddenly his feed cuts out, and yeah, exactly.
Just kill the feed.
But you already saw the teaser?
Yeah, so I saw the teaser and on Twitter. I'm quite excited. And then there was one other game that you announced during the anniversary, which I'm quite honestly forgetting the name of, the animal mystery.
Yeah. Moses and Plato.
Can you tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about that?
Yes, it's really interesting one because it's we don't really publish games outside from Southeast Asia, and we once published a game from Brazil. It was a solo game, a solo developer, but this one is coming from a studio that has veterans inside. So we are very humble to be to publish their games and to be they are believing in us to publish their games. So Moses in Plato is a game from a universe called the Wilderness. So the Wild Gentleman, the name of the studio, has a universe so called the Wilderness. So the Wilderness has right now like 2 games already released. First one is Chicken Police.
Oh, I know Chicken Police. Okay, yeah, right. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
what
like,
do you
it
think
looks
about the
so
game?
familiar.
Yeah.
And I believe when we were at Gamescom, the next booth over
Oh, yeah.
was Chicken
It
Police.
was our
wasn't it?
neighbor.
Yeah. Yes. I'm just like, why
Yes,
does
yes.
this
I was
seem
gonna say,
so
I remember
familiar?
Cameron talking about this. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, Chicken Police. So if you played Chicken Police, you will know that it has very dark humor and really cool graphics and art style. And we will bring it. They will bring it to Moses and Plato. Though I think it would be more cheerful in Moses and Plato, as you can see in the graphics. So yeah, if you play Chicken Police, you will see that the writing is super great. It's really great, and the humor is so funny, and the world building is very very interesting. So yeah, I recommend that you check one of the one of the like mini games, like short games called Zips Cafe. There you can meet Moses. He will be one of the patron in the cafe. So yeah, the one of the great thing about this universe is every conversation has voiceover.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and they are really great. The voice actors are really great. You must hear them talk. I didn't skip that many dialogues in the game.
That's saying something for a game because it does look very wordy, which I'm super about. That looks great. Also, I should
Yeah.
point out for our listeners, all of these people in these games are animals. They're all they're all amazing animals. I'm looking at the Steam stuff now and it looks amazing.
I mean, Chicken Police kind of has like a very much a Sin City vibe, right?
Yeah, very noir. Yeah,
Okay.
that's cool.
And the animal puns. Oh my god, I love it.
So are you in the credits for like just dad jokes? Like, are you just applying the material for all these
Oh,
animals?
no.
Or, no?
You get a writing credit on the next one. Yeah,
Not yet.
Just sneak a few in there, you know?
And how many did you
Yeah.
steal from Cameron? So
That's right. Don't give Cameron any credit.
Yeah. Yeah, don't put him in the credits. No, that would be bad.
I miss Gamescom because some of the developers that we had over, the entire time I was just teaching them Aussie slang. And then
Oh, no.
and then it was Aussie slang, it was dad jokes with Toge. There was a whole bunch
You're a
of
menace,
stuff.
mate. They shouldn't let you out of the country. That's unbelievable.
Oh, it was great.
It was great. It was great.
It was a good time. We had like 2 couches set up. We could just chat.
Yeah, yeah. I want to talk about that booth
Yeah.
because that booth is really good for us because we can sit down there and let the volunteers work, and we do the networking and interviews like that. It was the most comfortable booth that I ever had. And traveling to Germany was really tiring, but
Traveling to Germany, sorry. Traveling to Germany in the middle of a heat wave is worse.
yeah,
It's terrible.
it's terrible. But yeah, the booth really helped recover. So yeah, I had an event in December. It was in Jakarta in Indonesia, and because of the booth, it was the most intense event we ever had in that year. And because of the booth, we have to stand like 2 days in, yeah. But in Gamescom, like, yeah, we can, even a bit of tiredness, you can you can sit down there and it's very comfortable.
I mean, like, it makes sense though. Like, us as developers, we should have a place to sit down and talk to press and all that, and still be able to watch over everybody and assist. And like, it was personally such a great experience for me. Like, I'd done PAX Oz and PAX East. I think PAX East was really rough because we were standing the entire time when TRC went over. But Gamescom was just such a interesting experience, and having like 8 different buildings with different stations set up. I'm not sure how much. Oh, you did a lot of walking around. I'm pretty sure both of us went up to the indie arcade to get hot dogs and drinks at numerous points in time. It was quite interesting as an experience.
Are you going to PAX East?
Unfortunately, I work for a developer now that we can only really do digital events.
Oh,
I will probably do PAX Australia and maybe some other Australian events, but that's probably the extent of it. Just not in the budget.
maybe we're going to PAX Aus, but yeah, let's see.
If you come to PAX Oz, we'll have a drink.
Sure.
Yeah. Definitely.
But I don't drink alcohol. But yeah, we can drink.
Oh, we'll drink water. We'll have some.
Yeah,
form of
whatever.
Stay hydrated. That's
Yeah,
important.
stay hydrated. That's the entire podcast message. Stay hydrated. Does anybody else have any other questions?
I would probably say, of your role, publishing out of, is it Southeast Asia, you said mostly? What are some of the complications with is there anything really, really difficult coming out of that area? So,
Yeah, it's actually we have difficulties in access. So in Indonesia, especially, we don't have like official representatives from the platforms like Nintendo or PlayStation and Xbox. So to have the what is called the dev kit, it's really difficult. Fortunately,
Okay.
the Indonesian Games Association helped us in obtaining the Nintendo dev kit, but for the rest of the other platforms, it's really difficult. And fortunately, Toge already has a big presence in Southeast Asia, so we have connections to PlayStation and Xbox. So yeah, we have those devices. But for other developers in Indonesia, it's really hard, and maybe in other countries in Southeast Asia.
I mean, there are a few like, what is it? Is it IGGA or is it IGA? Indonesian Games.
AGI,
AGI, sorry.
Associasi Game Indonesia.
And then there's the Singaporean. I always forget the acronyms. Like
Singaporean
SGGA, I think.
SGGA,
Yeah.
that's right.
So there is a few around to assist, but yeah, Southeast Asia, it is quite difficult. Like Toge obviously have a bit of a presence, but then I know there's quite a few smaller developers out there that it's a bit more of a struggle to, I guess, get the representation.
There's quite a lot of people that know your games. So I mean, I haven't personally played them myself, but I've downloaded a few to try now. So,
speaking of that, I know that Chef Shift was one of the games that I got introduced to through itch.io, and I love the premise.
I was passing that on to a couple of friends who had kids. You know, it was a really good idea. Yeah.
Forgive me if I forget what it's called, but is it like Toge's Industry Fund or?
Oh yeah, it is called Toge Game Fund Initiative.
That's it. Yeah. Cool.
TGFI in short. So it's a mentorship program for developers from Southeast Asia, and one of the games is the Chef Shift. And so yeah, we are looking for developers and games from Southeast Asia to be mentored, and we also give them funds so they can make a vertical slice of the game. So after that, they can go to us to ask for publishing. After that, if we don't have any agreement, so it's the first, if they don't have any agreement, they can go to other publishers. So yeah, it's like we want to create an ecosystem where new developers can have experience making their first game or their ideas, to realize their ideas, so they can at least can present their a polished vertical to publishers and get funding and etc. So yeah, it's our initiative to bolster the industry, especially in the Southeast Asia.
Awesome. Like, I know in particular, I'm looking forward to Chef Shift. Just because I got addicted to that itch.io demo.
I played it.
Yeah, it was good.
This morning.
Yeah, it's solid. I like.
It's a very interesting game. Yeah. And do you like the story?
I mean, I played it last when I don't really think there was that much of a story that developed it. But I'm just like, I love Overcooked, right? Overcooked with a touch typing game seems like such an interesting idea. And I just found myself hooked on it for like quite a bit. But man, like there's such incredible games like coming out of Southeast Asia that, like, that's why I work in the industry, because like, and that's why I do marketing and social and community, because I want to get these games the representation that they deserve. Because
Yes.
a lot of cool things in C.
And yeah, and that is what Toge stands for, to represent people who unrepresented. Yeah.
Is there any particular game that you're looking forward to?
Among those TGFI games?
I was going to say within Toge, with outside of Toge. I'll let you interpret the question however you want.
Okay. From inside Toge, there are two. Those are Whisper Mountain Outbreak. Have you heard about it?
I got shown it at Gamescom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With Mountain Outbreak.
Yeah.
And second one is my personal favorite because it's my genre. Is Kriegfront Tactics.
Ah,
So those are the two big ones that we are developing. So yeah.
Do you want to quickly just tell everybody else a little bit about Whisper Mountain?
So Whisper Mountain Outbreak is like a love letter to Resident Evil Outbreak. So it's a co-op survival horror game, and it's an online co-op survival horror game. So, but we are covering it with Indonesian or Southeast Asian mystical lore. So we have some creatures from ghost creatures from Indonesia or Southeast Asia, and we combine it with styles from Resident Evil, the gameplay style from Resident Evil, or Left 4 Dead, because it's like 4 players right now. So yeah, the reception of Whisper Mountain Outbreak is really great, especially from Indonesia and Asia. So it is the most surprising game that we are developing. We are very surprised about the reception of the game, and I'm personally very excited to to wait for this game to release. But you have to wait. You have to wait about the release date. I know you
To
want
be
to
announced,
ask
I can
about
see on
that.
Steam.
I mean, I got lucky. I got to see it before it was announced, so I'm just
yeah,
really
Resident
cool.
Evil Outbreak is one of those games that were kind of before its time, where it exists in a world where online co-op wasn't a thing, and it would be perfect for now. So that is the kind of game that all of the Resident Evil fans are itching for. So like, it would be really good to have something like that with a lot of presence.
Yes.
So
because it was ahead of its time, so it's not really successful because not everyone like now has internet. So yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I think it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah,
This
well,
is
I'm definitely
for-
looking out for that one now. So I didn't know about it before now. So
it's definitely the one I'm most keen for.
We are having a limited demo right now, the Whisper Mountain Outbreak, only until mid-February. So yeah, I think you should try it.
okay,
Give it a shot.
I'll definitely check that out.
All right. Should we move on to some community questions there, Cameron?
Yeah, we'll move into Isaac's question.
Mhm.
All right, so, hey guys, what game were you most excited for, but then were let down the most by? Thanks for the show.
Oh, that's a big question. I got a few thoughts. I don't know what anyone else got anything that kind of springs to mind immediately of like, hey, super hyped for, and it just really didn't deliver.
Elden Ring.
Oh, okay. No, you need to leave the show. Guys, come on. You're gonna get us banned, man. I cannot get cancelled. I just paid for the new Zoom. We got a whole year of this. I can't cancel the show now.
I mean, seriously, but no, seriously.
Elden Ring.
You know what?
Amazing.
Guitar Hero Live.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just they should have stuck to the original controller. I'm sure it would have, as long as they didn't do the same thing they did with the 360 and just put out a whole bunch of different DLC packs and work those developers to death. I think that would probably be my answer for the most. Like I love the graphics and all that for it. It's just the gameplay.
I can't really think of anything. I think that the series that I've probably struggled with so much is that it seems like the Need for Speed games are great, but they're so up and down in their quality. It's just like hard to really like I want to play through them all, but it's just like hard. I'm hard pressed to pick them up before they go on EA Play. It's
They-
like I'm not motivated to go out and purchase it day one or anything like that because I'm just not sure of the quality.
They feel like a PS2
So-
game in the best and the worst way.
Yeah. Mm.
All right, what about you? Is there a game that like you were excited for, but it was kind of a bit of a letdown?
I can really think of anything right now, because
Did you play Age of Empires 3?
yeah.
Did you play Age of Empires 3?
Oh no, I
No?
didn't.
You didn't? Okay.
Yeah, you're fine then. You don't
I-
need to.
Why
I-
didn't you play
it was-
Age
I
of
read the
Empires 3?
reviews.
Yeah.
Because that's probably the other one I would say. Like, I loved Age of Empires and then Age of Empires 2 growing up. And even Age of Mythology. I'm really keen to get more details on that. But, yeah, as soon as 3 came out, it just completely fell off.
hmm
It just had to go back to 2 to...
Yeah. I also go back to 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's why it took them so long to make 4, right? Because they were like, we need to absolutely nail this. Because 3 was, I mean, 3 did okay, but it definitely wasn't. Yeah, I know what you mean. I have several answers like on a sliding scale, like because I'm dead inside now, so I don't get hyped about video games that much anymore. Because I'm just like, I'm just like, no, there's gonna be something wrong with it, and then you're pleasantly surprised when it's great. But it's funny you bring up Need for Speed, Keo, because what you were describing reminds me of Sonic, the Sonic cycle. Of every time they announce a new Sonic game, you're like, this is the one.
Yes.
This is the one. They've got it. They got to nail it. They got the good devs on it. Everyone gets excited, and then you see a few more trailers, and you're like, well, I don't know, and then it comes out and it's bad, and you're like, no, this is it. I'm done with Sonic. I'm never playing a Sonic game again. And then continues where it's like they bring out another trailer, like this time they've got it.
Yeah, yeah. And then they've got that Sonic and Shadow Generations, and I'm like, are they just episodes from the Sonic the Shadow, Shadow the Hedgehog game on PS2? Are we in for a real ride here, or
maybe? I mean, I'm in the Sonic cycle now because I saw that trailer and I was like,
I didn't see any guns, so
yeah, you didn't have a gun, so I was like, okay, it can't be that faithful. But like Sonic Generations was probably the best Sonic game.
I love that game.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's really good. I have the big Sonic statue thing that came with our collector's edition.
Yeah.
So
It's smart of them because Sonic 3 launches in December this year, like the movie with Shadow.
Right. Yeah.
So I think they're lining everything up quite perfectly for this, and they got Idris Elba as Knuckles in the Paramount TV show.
Oh yeah, I heard about that, and then they did They just did a trailer for it that apparently was quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, because I really like Generations was fantastic, although that's almost cheating because they just took the best parts of all the previous Sonic games and just chuck them into one game. But I'm trying to think, there was one that sort of jumped out at me. I mean, lately, probably like Last Case of Benedict Fox was one of those ones that I was like, I was really disappointed about because I was so excited.
I still liked it, but I was like, this definitely is very rough around the edges.
Yeah, definitely wasn't like the really sleek stuff that they showed in the trailers. If we want to go like into the Wayback Machine, a little BioShock Infinite, a little bit.
You can just say that about the whole BioShock series.
No, I mean, look, the original BioShock is a masterpiece, and I love 2 as well. Infinite I mean, I really enjoy the narrative kind of threads, but gameplay-wise, they just nerfed it in a way that was just unacceptable, to be honest. Yeah. And then if you want to go way, way back, Final Fantasy 13.
Right, I have not actually played, or have tried to play it and not actually been able to get very far in it.
Final Fantasy 10 is probably my favorite game of all time, and I love 12 as well. And then 13 was just so not that.
10 has the best story for me, 12 has the best gameplay, and then 13 I just completely slipped on.
Yeah, 13, yeah. I mean,
15's okay. Not for how long it was delayed, but...
Yeah, 15 was all right. I really like 13 Part 2. I really enjoyed. But 13 itself was just a huge, huge disappointment for me, unfortunately. I have played through it and finished it, obviously, but I decided not to do the PC version because I was like, I don't know if I need to do that again. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question there, Isaac.
And then the other question he snuck in, mostly for me, is
Just for you, actually.
yeah, just for me. Are you excited about the Riftmaster? So, PDP announced that they're going to be launching a Rock Band / Fortnite festival guitar controller for the PS4, PS5, and then one for the Xbox as well. I'm very, very pumped for this. Just because I've tried for years to get a Rock Band 4 set, and I still hate myself that they were selling for $100 at one point, and I didn't pick one up because I didn't have enough money at that point. I should have just gone without food for a week or something. I
was going to say, just sell the kidney, mate. You don't need it.
I've collected that many 360 accessories over the years. It's just really annoying that I can only use Rock Band 4 as a SingStar game, essentially.
Yeah.
But man, like, what about that lineup of like 8 years of DLC ending last week, and then Rock Band 4 and Fortnite Festival get a controller adapter? Like, PDP basically have a monopoly on the market now.
I mean, the Fortnite Festival has been exploding with popularity recently, right? Like since its announcement, you know, with the whole like M&M thing and all the kind of stuff there. Like I think that, and also like seeing we're like, oh hey, what is what are the studio doing? Like Rock Band's done, they've been acquired. Like what are they going to do? And it's like this is what they're going to do. They're going to fucking make this Fortnite thing, and it looks great, and people love it. And yeah, having the guitar controller come out is just another great step, which we all thought was going to happen, but it's good to hear it confirmed.
Having the ability to have an Alan Wake skin and be shredding out on stage, I mean, like, what else could you want?
Yeah.
Like, I've been tempted very, very much about like downloading Fortnite Festival and just being hooked on it, but I don't want to. Not until I hit the
It'll be the last time we see you on the show, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably true.
You know news-wise, what?
Guitar Hero 2 remake.
Yeah, okay, maybe.
Or just all those Guitar Hero 2 songs. I love
Guitar Hero. As long as we don't get covers this time. As long as they're All right, well, I mean, that's basically. Well, that's a nice transition into the news. So, Cameron, what else have you found for us this week?
Do you want to go on the Abrasive stuff?
Yeah, we'll quickly talk about it.
All right, so Embracer has laid off 97 employees and cancelled a new Deus Ex game, which, I'll be honest, I haven't really played that much of Deus Ex other than knowing that Pluto hates the Foxy's the Hounds achievement. I mean, I swear that was all the RGS podcast was about, him trying to get that achievement.
Pretty much.
He can try and disprove that in 2 months' time. This sucks. I mean, just this morning, Devolver, one of the studios they own, cut half their staff. I'm sick of layoffs in the industry.
It seems to be all the news that, like, I mean, we only just got into February, and it's insane the amount of headlines we've seen of people's jobs being cut. Yeah. Like I don't even know what to say at this point.
All right, correct me if I'm wrong. Have you heard of any Southeast Asian developers affected? I don't think there have been any Southeast Asian developers that have been affected by layoffs this year.
Yeah, it's like I think we are in a different bubble. So we have some kind of different resilience. Because we have, the living costs in Indonesia is really, really low. So it doesn't really affect us, the downturn in the industry. So yeah, so far, no major layoff, I think.
And like, yeah, and then beyond the layoff news, like I'm very, very sad that they cancelled the next Deus Ex game that they were, I mean, I would say working on, like it was about to enter production. So they hadn't started the actual coding work yet, but it's still hugely disappointing. Because I mean, we're overdue for a new Deus Ex game. I love the original. And I'm a huge fan of Human Revolution and Mankind Divided. I also enjoy a lot. Not
I
as
only
much.
ever actually played the original one. So, yeah, so back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, like nothing beats the original. Like the original Deus Ex is
mm.
one of the greatest games ever made. It's that there's that meme that goes around that like it's like every time you see this meme, someone's going to go re-download that game because they're like, oh yeah, Deus Ex, I haven't played that in a
Yeah.
couple of years.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that they really should do a like remake of, like a proper remake, with everything still in it, which would be insane in this day and age, but I think needs to happen.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge contender for that. You've got studios like Night Dive and stuff like that that might be able to take it up. But I mean, who knows? Like after the Tomb Raider trilogy comes out, like whatever
True.
Aspire's doing after that, it's hard to say. Maybe they just revisit some of that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, Embracer is just going through a ridiculously rough time, mostly of their own volition, unfortunately.
Yeah, speaking of the Embracer stuff, the Volition guys, going on to one of the other news pieces we have, they basically tweeted out that they'd formed Shapeshifter Games, and Xbox have them working on Clockwork Revolution within Exile, so which is really, really great to see as well. So looks like Microsoft is coming out and nabbing a handful of those devs and pulling them on board. So, which is really good because there's still a lot of talent there. They've just been a bit restricted in terms of what they have been able to do, I guess, within at Volition, I guess, at the time. So, yeah. Does anyone have anything to say about that?
That Shapeshifter logo was fucking cool. I like in terms of like dev, like I guess branding and image. I love that. I mean, look, I'm glad they got something. I'm not personally that excited for Clockwork Revolution.
Because you're wrong. That game looks amazing.
I thought it was one of the weakest showings of that FanFest. Just being honest. I'm just not into steampunk. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. It's fine.
But like I'm glad that they were able to jump and form their own studio and keep themselves going. It'll be interesting to see how it ends up.
Yeah.
I mean, they also mentioned that like co-developing these days for games that size is not unusual, So it sounds like a really great opportunity for everyone involved, which is fantastic.
Might give them the opportunity to raise some capital too and start their own projects.
Yeah, which I'm sure that's the goal of most studios, right?
Yeah.
Alan Wake 2 is getting an update. Not much to say there. They're getting a chapter select, which is great.
I quickly wanted to mention it because one, they're getting the chapter select feature. So if you really want to go back and play We Sing over and over again, you can.
Yep.
We Sing, I think, is one of the best chapters I've played in all video gaming. And just the fact that, you can go back and get the collectibles now is such a great thing. Because, I mean, having to, like, I love that game, but, like, having to go through and collect the collectibles like that was a chore.
It opens things up so much for, like, people going back and just collating their experience of each chapter individually, and kind of you'll see more YouTubers kind of pushing extra specific content and stuff like that, I think, from it as well. Because you don't have to play it. You're not just doing a playthrough and then just in one go investigating everything. You can kind of go back and tease a little bit out of each chapter. So
I do also like the fact they added an option in to choose between low and normal horror kind of visual and audio intensity. Like I can't remember who I was speaking with in Discord yesterday, but the one problem I have with that game is when you're battling, I think it's Cynthia. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, right at the end.
Cynthia,
well, sorry. Yes, I guess that. Yeah, Cynthia.
Like that amount of just flat. Like it's not scary anymore. It's just overbearing. Like it's like, can you just stop now and just let me go for this area?
Yeah. No, I get you.
But it's good that it's getting quality of life updates. I'm very excited for when the DLC comes out or the title update, and much to look forward to.
Yeah. Ari, do you have any thoughts on adding huge updates for games like New Game Plus, like down the track, like 3-4 months after release and stuff like that. We were talking about this last week with like Sony and stuff like that, how they add New Game Plus. And what was the game we were talking about last week? The one that's paid?
Infinite Wealth, the new Yakuza
Oh,
game.
Yes, the new
yeah.
Yakuza games adding like a paid New Game Plus mode that you have to pay for as part of the deluxe or whatever it is. Do you have any thoughts on kind of like paywalling or adding extra stuff
Or even just DLC
to games
in
like
general.
that? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, from Toge Productions' perspective, our scope isn't that big. So yeah, if we add some DLC, actually, Coffee Talk 2, the initial plan was it was a DLC for the first Coffee Talk. But when we develop it, by time it looks like, man, it's kind of big. So I think this can be a sequel. So there are some like some factors that we see if we want to make a DLC or a sequel or a new game. So in this case, we see that the revenue from a DLC for us as an indie developer is not that, it's not worth it.
It's like
time we
20%
spend.
average, right? On a purchase rate on a DLC is usually a 20% average of the full purchase.
And
right?
it's gonna have to be cheaper, right?
Right.
So we made some new system, we made some new content and new characters. So we think that this is not very worth it to be if it's becoming a DLC. So we managed to to decide that, okay, I think it's gonna be a sequel. We think there's gonna be a sequel, and yeah, the initial plan of development was 6 months, and it became like almost 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a big jump.
yeah, it's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, you gotta sell it for sure. I mean, I love both of those games, and especially them being on Game Pass was that thing, right? Where it was, if it was DLC for the original game, it's like I might not own the original game, right? If I played it through Game Pass, so then that's a whole nother question. So like releasing it as its own separate product actually makes a lot of sense. I think we've seen a lot of that in the industry recently, right? You hear a lot of stories of like, hey, this was a DLC project that just kind of grew arms and legs, especially like over the pandemic and that kind of stuff, where it's like development time got stretched out, and they were like, well, let's turn it into a fully fledged thing on its own, even if it's a smaller project. Which I'm all in favor for, to be honest. I think that the industry could definitely use with more sort of small to medium sized projects as opposed to small DLC or huge AAA bangers all the time.
I know it's a bit of a side comment, but like you'd be surprised at the amount of like not DLC projects, but like game jam games that like turn out to be these wild successes like after they put some more time and energy into it.
Yeah, and Coffee Talk actually was a game jam project.
Yeah.
Right.
At first, so yeah.
Yeah, I love Coffee Talk. So we also have a story about Need for Speed, the Need for Speed developers teasing what might be a new Burnout game, which Cameron is pretty sure he's fully responsible for this.
Yeah, so what was the effect that you were talking about?
Oh, God damn it! I wrote it down. What was it? The mind. Oh God, no!
I was 100% like I'm pretty sure he's just posting this here to be ironic. Just
the Baden-Meinhof effect,
Yeah.
where it's you hear about something and then you suddenly start seeing it everywhere. Yes.
So yeah, a few comments that I've been having this week. We were talking about I believe we were in a party chat the other day talking about the Need for Speed series and also the Burnout series and all that kind of stuff. And then the next day, within 24 hours, we saw fans think Need for Speed developer Stella could be teasing a new Burnout game. And
I will also say we were literally playing Burnout while we were talking about this.
So there was a reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, Stella Entertainment has previously worked on Need for Speed Unbound, which I thought was pretty good, except for the selection of music. They also worked for Need for Speed Remastered and Burnout Paradise Remastered, and our fans think they could be teasing another game in the Burnout series. Our way of giving you kind of weird insider intel about what we're working on without actually telling you what we're working on, the poster next reads. And the bosses still haven't issued any takedowns. Happy days. It continues. Attached to the post is an image reading, point of view if you're about to be rear-ended.
Right, okay.
So the references to rear-ending and takedowns have caused speculation, with takedowns being an in-game name for destroying an opponent's car in the racing series. Takedown was also the subtitle of the third game in the series. And look, I'm just going to add it here, the best.
The best one, yeah. Agreed.
I love Burnout 3. In response to this, fans will quick to point out that the post could tease the long-awaited return to the racing franchise. One user wrote, remake Burnout 3 Takedown, where do I pay? Hope you guys don't get burned out developing this, wrote another. Despite demand for a new entry, the last Burnout game in the series was developed in 2008. And then the remaster came out in 2018.
Which is what we're playing right now. Which we'll talk a little bit about after this, I guess.
So not much to go with here. This could just be a rumor kind of thing until we see something actually released.
They're working on something, and it's probably a driving game. So that's, I mean, it's either going to be another Need for Speed or I don't know, like what else could it be?
But Burnout was the racing series though when I was growing up. That was what kid me played. Except for Cruising in the USA on N64. That moon level holds up, I will tell you.
Yeah.
Man, I always tell myself that I'm not a racing game fan.
What?
No, what?
Yeah, I know. Right?
You're lying to yourself. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I was going to say, there are much better lies you could tell yourself, Cameron. That
I know, I never think of myself as racing.
Waste your energy on lies that will practically make
your
life better.
You literally used charity to force me to play Forza Horizon 5, okay? I don't want to hear about the fact.
You still got one achievement left.
Yeah.
All right, what's the best racing game of all time?
What, me?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll put you on the spot.
Well, the most memorable was Need for Speed Most Wanted.
The original?
Yeah.
What? Yeah,
The original.
The pink slips and the it was so good. And the music was yes.
It was the best one because I'm not really racing aficionado, but Most Wanted was my most memorable.
Yeah, same.
And actually, my first game when I was little, it was like Formula One game in DOS, I think, or Windows 95.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I can't find it online. I can't find it. What I don't know what's the title, but it was I can drive a Ferrari, a McLaren, and I don't know why, but Ferrari's gearbox was only like 5, and only 5 until 5. I don't know, but the McLaren ones it has 6.
Yeah,
but yeah, Ferrari only 5. I don't know why, but it was the only thing I remember.
I hate remembering like games from like years back and then just trying to pick from my memory what it is. It's just impossible.
Like it's like how much of that do I remember correctly also? And over the years
man, the original Mafia versus Mafia Remastered.
Right. You look back, you're like, wow. That is a really fun thing that I've seen. Like we'll talk about what we've been playing, but like Burnout Remastered and going, yeah, this looks really good. This is what Burnout looked. This is what Burnout Paradise looked like, right? And then if you do like a screen by screen comparison, you're like, oh my god, no, we've come a long way in the last 10 years.
I need to go back to the 360 version to clean up a few things, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll just dip my toes into remastered first.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Xbox is leading a hand on Palworld for dedicated servers and performance improvements. Palworld continues to smash charts across all platforms in an attempt to optimize it for Xbox Series X and S and the Xbox One. Microsoft's engineers are now lending a hand to speed up optimizations. The game launched last month and is now, I believe, the third best. I don't know if it was like third best selling Game Pass or third most downloaded Game Pass.
I think it's their like biggest launch, so I guess that's like
Yeah,
most
it
downloaded.
ended up being like 19 million or something now.
Yeah,
or
so
something?
12 million Steam,
Yeah.
7 million on Xbox, I believe.
Yeah.
Obviously, we already had the discussion about whether it like falls on copyright infringement and all that, but based on the Xbox Wire article, they're going to provide support for dedicated servers, offering engineering resources to help with GPU and memory optimization, speeding up the process to make Palworld updates available to players, and working with the team to optimize the title for our platform.
Does that include like adding the legal team just in case?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. I think somebody told me the other day they're getting like close to on par with the, like between the Steam and the Xbox version. But I don't know if that means that Xbox is getting 32-player dedicated servers yet.
I'm sure it will at some stage.
Yeah.
I think that this is a similar situation to Baldur's Gate 3 being a surprise hit, with Microsoft like scrambling to be like, we'll do whatever we can to make sure that this is going to be a huge thing for Xbox.
Yeah, this is one that they have, so...
Exactly, yeah, they picked right this time, so they want to cash in, which makes perfect sense. Yeah. I have it downloaded. I haven't played it yet.
I think it still needs like a little bit of, like, personally it hasn't caught me.
Yeah.
Yet. I mean, I'd love to just be able to get a group of us and actually unlock achievements together.
But yeah, it's host only, right?
But yeah, host only is a bit of a bummer.
I'll jump in when someone has an achievement work for it.
Yeah, just unlock it in like 10 minutes. Yeah, cool, thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
Just go by, just throwing Pokeball.
Yeah, someone has all the Pokemon in bunch of little corrals, and you got to catch it. Yeah.
Anyway, like Minecraft World all over again.
Yeah, exactly. And then we got this last story here about Xbox Design Lab controllers. They've rolled out some new patterns that look really good.
God damn Xbox making me spend money on controllers.
Yeah. No. They've sort of taken some of their new sort of custom designs that they've done recently and added those to the Design Lab, so you can kind of use them, which is great. Because there's a couple in there that I saw that I was like, I nearly bought a couple of these already, so being able to make your own one is pretty sweet. Hopefully they're a little more reliable than the ones I bought, because my bumpers were breaking, but I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and then we've got some servers shutting down in March for a few games.
We know about most of these already, but yeah.
I got some quick news in here as well. Spec Ops.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, Spec Ops The Line got delisted from pretty much all storefronts. Starfield got a massive Xbox update with over 100 fixes and improvements. And then Visions of Mana has been confirmed by Xbox not to be coming to Game Pass after users found numerous mentions of it in the store page.
Yeah, they said there was an error, which...
I went back to the place, it was at the Game Awards thing, and I was having a look at where it originally was announced, and they only said PlayStation there.
They did, yeah.
So maybe they're just making up for it and just making sure that people know it's coming to Xbox as well. Or at that point, it wasn't on Xbox, and they really pushed to get it over because people were clamoring for
I think that was the whole
a bit of attention.
Square, like with Final Fantasy 14 and all that as well, right?
Well, yeah, because it was like Square hasn't done any work with Xbox for ages, and so it's nice. It's nice that they're bringing it over. And this is, they said, the first version of, the first Mana game on Xbox ever in the series history, which is great. I think because there's so many of those games. I'm excited for it, but it would be nice if it comes to Game Pass. I'm sure it will at some stage once they work out their deal with Square.
I mean, yeah, once they buy Square, hopefully. I'd kid, but.
Game Pass updates?
Yeah. So today we have Persona 3 Reload coming to console, PC, and cloud. Feb 6th we have Anacard coming to console, PC, and cloud. Feb 15th we have A Little to the Left, which I'm really, really keen for.
Love that game.
I've heard so many good things. Coming to both console and cloud. And then Feb 15th, we also have Played Up, which I'm also very interested in. As it's only the 2nd, we don't have anything leaving just yet. Some other notes are that Open Roads got delayed to March 28th for the polish. That back end of Feb was just way chockers. I'm not surprised it moved.
Yeah.
I think Skill Up the other day announced like 3 different games on his
all coming out
podcast.
in like the last day of
like
Feb,
all in the same day.
Yeah.
MLB The Show has been enjoying its run on Game Pass, but then we got an announcement for MLB The Show 24, which is coming March 19th. So I imagine 23 will be delisted end of March, typical situation. Same day, we also have Lightyear Frontier, the Alien World farming, crafting, exploration game.
The one with the mechs. I remember seeing that a few years ago.
I believe it was meant to launch last year and then got delayed out.
Yeah, correct.
Cool.
That's March 19th. Great. All right. Well, let's talk about what we've been playing. What do we want to start with? Okay, let's start with Need for Speed Rivals, because I know Cameron's been having a great time with that.
I would just say this game is buggy as all hell. I finally got it done. This game could have easily just ended at like getting 20 assignments done for Cops and Robbers. It does feel like the old PS2 kind of, simplicity of those kind of Need for Speed mechanics, just with like a bit more shine. But man, the amount of times this game crashes, like I swear, if I had $1 for every time this game crashed, I'd have
You'd be able to pay for the game.
I'd have like $20-$25. And then the other issue with it is you'll just be like, you'll crash into something and the game will just completely freeze. It won't dashboard or anything. It will just be stuck on that screen until you force quit it.
Wow.
But yeah, that's it. It's enjoyable, but it's overstayed its welcome.
Yeah. Arya, have you been playing anything recently that you want to talk about?
Oh yeah. It's a guilty pleasure actually. Can you guess?
So strategy game of some sort. Have you been playing?
No.
Yeah, Heroes of Might and
No,
Magic.
Age of Empires 2.
Survival game.
Power World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I
What
played
are your
it
thoughts?
on Game Pass, so yeah. But it was last week. I played it last week. But recently I played a demo version of Train World Valley or something. Yeah, it was a strategy game. So I feel it's like Railroad Tycoon.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. But simplified one.
Sure.
I feel it's like a mobile game, but more complex.
That's what I was going to
like,
ask you. That's usually kind of we've seen a lot of that kind of thing happen on mobile recently, right? Like it's like mobile games have gotten. I don't know. Have PC games gotten simpler, or have mobile games gotten slightly more complex? I'm not quite sure which direction it's gone.
Yeah, and maybe the strategy lovers like getting older, and then they need to a dumbed down version of gameplay.
Sure.
I have no time for this anymore, like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's perfect for people like me. So yeah, I think I've wishlisted it. So yeah, I'm waiting for it to release.
Right. Here I saw you were playing Turnip Boy.
Yeah, so after your quick completion the other day, I'm like, holy crap, I might just load this up and just have a bit of a look and see what this is about. And I really like what they've done. I haven't played the first one. So is it similar at all? It doesn't seem like it's the same kind of game.
The first game is like a sort of Zelda style game. This is like baby's first Enter the Gungeon.
So they've changed the style a little bit, and it's basically you just go into the bank, and then you kind of do the layout, and then over time you just keep. You've got 3 minutes I think to start off with.
Yeah.
You go in, you either choose to just earn some cash and get out, or complete some of the objectives, like talk to some of the people, and it's all still really high entertaining. Like even from the first game, like all of the interactions are really, really cool, and the quests and stuff like that. And you just get deeper and deeper into the bank. So I've done about 10 runs, about half of them were just for cash and unlocking stuff. But yeah, I'm starting to get into some of the little quests and stuff like that. And where are you at? What are your thoughts on the game?
I thought it was really good. I liked it a lot, especially like the
Yeah.
humor. I think like I totally agree that
Mm.
they took what they did in the first game and just were like, let's just do some more of that crazy shit.
Yeah.
It's maybe a little bit too Rick and Morty.
Right.
If you
Okay.
get kind of, I don't know, like I'm probably gonna get shit for saying that, but like it's a little bit too like, hey, this is wacky, zany humor,
You leave
but
the vegetables alone.
they're funny. Like it's like I get it. It's funny. Like I did really really enjoy the game. It has really good accessibility options as well. So if you just want to have like a cruisy time, you can just put it on God mode and just kind of just go through the game and not have trouble at all. Um, it's very interesting that they've moved from a Zelda style fixed tile game to
Yeah, they
a
really turn up the heat, didn't they?
yeah. They were like, hey, no, we're just doing a roguelike. We're just yeah. No, and yeah, that was good. I like it. Um, but like the quests are also very funny. Like someone has like it's like, hey, I'm super lonely. I would like a rock, I'd like a, pet rock collection, please. So you
Mm.
just go around doing quests with people and get their like pet rocks. Um, like this,
It is definitely baby's first. Like, yeah, definitely very simple compared to some of the other roguelike stuff. Yeah.
but it
Mm.
has like the loop is really good. Like I think the fact
It
that
is.
it's
Yes, it
timed
is.
is
Yeah.
really actually like
Yeah.
normally I'd hate that, but I think it's quite clever.
Yeah. In and
Because
out, same entrance. You get to learn so much about the start of the area, and then you get further in and further in, and yeah, just explore a little bit more.
it has that great roguelike sort of
Mm.
also Dark Souls thing where it's like, hey, you get to the area and you get through halfway through it and there's a shortcut back to
Yep.
the entrance. So
Yeah. Yeah.
next time you can basically just go nearly straight there and kind of skip
Yeah,
some of the
and
stuff
the
from yeah.
time stops for the bosses as well, at
Yeah.
least the first one that I've
Yeah.
noticed. So, but yeah, so mm.
But it's also not very long. I think there's only about 4 or 5 bosses in the game, and so there's about
Mm.
4 or 5 areas roughly.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
very small map. Mm.
Yeah, but there is that procedural generation stuff of like every time you go
Mm.
into an elevator, you'll end
Mm.
up like there are like hub floors, and then each of
Yes.
them have sort of sub floors that have a randomized area. Well, I
Yeah,
say
yeah.
randomized, like it just basically gives you one of like a few
Yeah,
different
it'll have
options.
like 2 or 3 safes or, one or different things, and
Yeah,
doesn't have anything really necessary in there, but you're just collecting loot at that point in those
yeah,
little areas. And
and yeah, there's a couple of quests, and there's also some
mm,
specific ones. Like one of them is the pet rock lady. One of them is
mm,
like an arena that you could fight in to get an extra cool weapon. You carry 2 different weapons, and you can go and
mm,
take them back to the main base and trade them in for better starting
yep.
weapons. So like the roguelike loop in this game is actually
Mm,
really, really good
Hmm.
because there's kind of 3 things where it's like you bring back weapons that you find and you sell them to the vendor, and eventually it levels up to give you better starting weapons. You have like a black market where you can buy items to unlock new areas and give you new abilities. And then you also have like a vending machine of like steroids that give you like bonus to your stats. It's like, hey, you do shoot faster, do more damage, carry like more health, that kind of stuff, more like statistical things. And there's a really nice blend of like as you get deeper um into the bank, you get things that are worth more. And if you kind of like you can go is the classic thing of like, well, I can skip right to the part that I haven't got through yet,
mm,
or I could go through and collect all the loot along the way, so I have better when I get out, I have more upgrades, but it's going to
yeah.
take me longer. So there's kind of like a bit of
Mm,
a trade-off thing going on. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like I just played, like I did it like over a day. I just sort of sat there and just ran through the entire thing, and had a really, really good time with it. I know some people were saying some of the achievements are a little bit glitchy, so maybe just keep an eye out for that. I think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't even looked at the achievements, honestly, so I was just doing some runs because I know what those games are like. So,
yeah, I don't think there's like
mm,
any missables or anything because everything's pretty
yeah.
much always available. But some people were saying some of the hats that you get don't show like they might disappear, or so make sure you just keep checking your inbox to get the hats. I think
Oh,
was
right. Yes. Yeah,
um,
yeah. Mm,
yeah. Also, that's a tradition from the first game too. They just give you all kinds of weird shit to wear on your head as a
mm,
turnip.
mm.
But yeah, that game's great.
I wonder if
Uh,
they're going to do like a third one, and if they do a third one, what genre would they approach?
Yeah, well, I have no idea. Like, and also like the story is insane. Like if you play the first game, that game ends in a very
Yeah.
weird way, and they don't retcon or change anything. They just roll with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that universe is fucking weird. Do you want to talk a
Besides
bit
scrolling
about?
Dark Souls.
Yes, yeah, 100% play Dark Souls. Yeah, let's do it. I'll just quickly touch on Inscription. I talked a little bit about it last week. So I was right at the end. I finished the story. That game's great. It's so fucking good. And I had been obsessively playing the Casey's mod that you unlock afterwards, which is the new DLC they added, which is basically the regular card game, but with the roguelike modifiers put it on every time. And so you unlock different starting decks, and it works very similar to like the Hades Heat thing, where it's like you put modifiers and challenges onto it to get to certain challenge ratings. And so you get things like, it's like, hey, you can only hold 2 items in your bag instead of 3, or you can't re-roll cards, or when you beat a boss, you only get normal cards, you don't get rare cards, or the scales start with 1 tip against you, so you have to do 6 damage to them instead of 5, and they only have to do 4. So, and kind of each of them are worth different amount of points, so you can stack your runs into like, okay, I'm at challenge rating 9 out of, I think, 12, I think. And so I need to put a lot of bonuses, a lot of debuffs on me to kind of get through. But there are some really fun strategies, and you also like unlock new cards as you go through. And I'm just seeing some cards that I've never seen before. Like I saw one that's just called a tadpole. I have no idea what it does, but I get the feeling that if I play it and I keep it around for another round, it'll turn into something else on the next turn, and then maybe turn into something else again after that. So I'm really interested to see kind of how the game works. It's really, really like I'm not a big roguelike guy, but this card game is so good and so well designed, and sort of also like really, really unbalanced in a way of like, the idea is that you make broken stuff. So you get like a card that attacks 3 different directions each turn, and then you put like you put something on it that makes it flying, so it hits the enemy directly, or you give it something that makes it have death touch, so if it touches any enemy, it kills them immediately. And it's like you just start building broken cards, and then you make clones of that card, and you stitch them back together to double their stats and stuff, and you just have hopefully by the end of it, just some ridiculous monster killing thing to go up against the final boss. But yeah, I can't recommend Inscription enough. Like, this is something that people should definitely pick up. I really hope it comes to Game Pass at some stage. I also really like his other games. Pony Island and The Hex would be really good to come to Xbox at some stage. I'm very excited for Pony Island too. It looks great. But yeah, just can't say enough nice things about that. I'm going to try and finish it maybe this weekend if I have time. But I suspect I'm going to get waylaid by other games for a bit. Cameron, do you want to talk a bit about the theme month stuff while we're kind of...
Yeah, so I guess for the theme month, we've pretty much picked racing. So like Fast Feb is the theme. Obviously, I've just been doing the Crew 2, Need for Speed Rivals, and then I've started Burnout Paradise Remastered with everybody else. Pretty much for the theme of the month is Burnout Paradise Remastered. We're going to try and get as much of the community through like the co-op stuff as possible, because that is a very co-op online heavy kind of game. You have to do 250 challenges, 8-player race, that kind of stuff. So trying to team up everybody together and get that done. At the same time, just working on backlog for racing games.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll talk a little bit about Burnout Paradise Remastered.
Yeah, but this is the other thing that I've been just like super into when we announced this. I was like, yeah, I've had this sitting here for a long time. I bought it, but I didn't think I was going to play it because of the online being so demanding.
Yeah.
And we didn't really have, I didn't really know anyone who was playing it. But now that we have this community event going, this is, outside of 3, I think this might be the best racing game ever made. Just about. I put 30 hours into this week. I just cannot stop playing it. It is so good.
Yeah, I've been watching you kind of like pop online playing it, and like on about the same time with Natolinator and stuff like that. And then suddenly in the Discord, you're like, what other racing games should I play? And I'm like, he's enjoying Burnout Paradise a little bit too much here. So he's getting the bug. So
I love the original back in 2008. It was one of those games that just blew my mind. I believe it was like the second kind of true open world driving game. I think Test Drive Unlimited was the first one.
Man, I'd love to do Test Drive Unlimited, but I'm pretty sure both those games have discontinues.
Pretty
I
sure
think
they
I
do.
can finish that. I think I've done all the online stuff. I think I can actually finish that game.
Damn it.
I'll have to check, but
Got no better way too late.
Yeah. But it's fantastic. Like this game has so much in it in a way that, like, from a game from 2008, the idea of them being like, yeah, it's like we just put an event at every single intersection. There's 120 of them. Like there's races, there's stunt drives, there's road rages, there's marked man, and then they're like, but also you also like we just put a bunch of like smashes to find shortcuts. We found a bunch of billboards. We put a bunch of huge jumps. They basically were like, hey, people really like the Grand Theft Auto style of like having like an open world with a bunch of stuff to do. Why not we just make it so you can just do a lot of that stuff, but just not get out of the car? And then they were like, but also then we just put you online and we're like, hey, yeah, you could do some races and stuff, or you could do these fun challenges that depend on how many people are in your lobby. So it's like you got 2 people, you guys need to go do these 50 crazy things. And then we got another 50 for 3 and another 50 for 4. And like some of them are a little bit tedious, but like I love it. It is, and it's the thing where you like a really great community spirit of like getting people together to do some crazy shit. It's like, yeah, do like 20 barrel rolls or get everyone to park in a line and have someone jump over you like you're in a monster truck rally.
yeah, we're all sitting at the airport and going, oh, is this guy that popped into the lobby, is he going to come over so we can do the 8-player challenges? We just activate the challenge and then hope he's just on his way. So,
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those games that there's not many games that you can just get a whole bunch of people and find co-op and then like you think like people would do that and stuff in GTA. They would find a thing and they'll make their own challenge.
Exactly.
This game essentially makes those challenges for you.
I can't believe we've never seen anyone do something like this again. Like it was so brilliant back in 2008, and playing through it again in Parrot and the remaster, I'm rediscovering how much I love doing those challenges. And then even then, it's like also, you know, you have all that collectible stuff, and then every single street there's a time trial for getting from one end of the street to the other, and then there's also a crash mode, the Showtime crash mode where you got to try do as much damage as you can down that street in a certain period of time. There's so much to this game. My only real complaints are it's still a game from 2008.
Yeah.
That they've redone, so it still has some of that weirdness. When the game originally came out, like you couldn't restart a race if you fucked it up. It was like you had to drive back to the beginning. They did add that later, and this is in this game, but you can't fast travel to events. You can't fast travel at all, actually. You can't fast travel to events, which is kind of a bit rough.
Which is crazy to me because you got like games like The Crew and Driver San Francisco that can just jump around like crazy and
yeah, which like again, like after this, they kind of figured it out that actually that's kind of a thing that needs to be in these games. And even when they did Most Wanted, the 2016 version, which was essentially just the second version of this game because it was made by Criterion as well.
Yeah.
They were like, when you get into a car, you can just start an event from anywhere and they'll just jump you to the spot because they realized that while people do want to drive around and have fun, like when you get down to like, oh, I've got
races.
Exactly. And like, I don't want to have to race from one end to the thing to the other to start the event and then end up racing the whole way back.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my only other complaint about this game is that there are 120 events to unlock, but the license system is that you basically have to do a certain amount of events to get to the next license stage. And then your wins are wiped off the board and you need to redo them again. And I understand why they did that back in the day, because the idea was some people like the races, some people like the road rage, some people just want to, like I've gotten to the burnout license rank just doing races basically. I didn't do any. I think I did like maybe like races and burning routes, but like I didn't do like any marked man or road rage or anything like that. But now that it's wiped them all, and I have to do all 120 of them basically all over again, which I'm enjoying the game. But I still have like 80 races or 80 different events to go. And I'm just like, I've been playing this game. I played this game for 30 hours already. I've driven on every street. I've got every time trial done. Like, I think this game would have been a lot better if they were just like, yeah, you finish that event, just move on to another one. We're not going to take that progress away from you. But I think that's just like, you know, kind of early installment weirdness. Because it's not the kind of thing you see again. Although, Most Wanted 2016 kind of was it 2012, whenever it was, kind of went in the wrong direction of every single event, every single car now has its own events. So you end up replaying a lot of stuff in a different way. But
I do like how they covered up the when you start the game, and the original games use the Xbox Vision cameras.
Oh,
and it's like it just brings up a blank husk of a face, and it's just like, well, it's just like a blank outline, and it's just like, oh well, set up your face, but just have this for now, and you just never get anything to replace it.
There or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
When before you had to get out the cam and just put your little face on it.
I completely forgot about that.
That was really cool though, because it's the whole thing where when you crash into someone, they would take a picture of you, of the person you crashed into, so you could see their expression.
Yeah, which were achievements actually, I think, on the original game.
And then just also on the driving theme, I finished Yaris just before the podcast. Everyone's favorite free 360 advertising game, which I still can't believe got made, where you drive down you're on a rails tunnel thing with a weird tentacle shooting weird thing. That was a very strange free game. I've had that sitting there since 2008 in February. So
I didn't even remember that one.
It took me 16 years to finish.
I've never seen this game before.
Really? Oh, it's it was one of those 360 games that it was just very strange.
That's not on the list. I have actually been doing the crew. Trying to finish the story in that to get ranked up. I just hit level 40 in that. But I've also been going between the 360 and the One versions of the game.
Right.
The 360 version's a mess. It'll be offline. So the world is online. You can meet people online. It looks like the PvP is online, but the actual like story mode is locked behind the server being online. So you can't actually do the story. It's all blocked out. So it's all just yellow triangles with little red lightning bolts through them going, you can't play this because there's no connection to the server.
Oh, man.
So you can actually explore the world. You can go find all the cars. You can go find all the hotspots and stuff like that. But you can't do any of the challenges on the road, and you can't do any of the story missions. So all of the stuff that blocks me actually progressing, I probably won't. Like, it came online this morning for an hour, but I had to go out and grab a couple of things, and I'm like, damn, it's online. I'm not even going to be home for it. I come home. I played it for like 20 minutes and it went offline. So it's touch and go. The One version hasn't been that bad at all. It's just been online as far as I can tell the whole time.
360's just kind of getting to that stage.
I'm glad
it is. Yeah.
Do you want to hear this lovely review of Yaris?
Yeah, I would love to hear the review of Yaris. Yeah.
17 out of 100 Metacritic. Dan Dormer gave
17 out of 100.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dan Dormer gave Yaris a scathing review, writing that Yaris does nothing right and everything wrong. Every element from the graphics to the controls to the online play is just busted. Even at the price of free, this lemon isn't fun or worth the sticker price.
I 100% agree. It is an awful, awful game that I played when I was 16, so you can blame past me for that. I'm glad you got it done though. I had one achievement left, and I got a message from someone on TA asking if I wanted to just get it done, and so we spent about an hour or two on it today, and just smashed it. It's amazing.
And now, do you want to buy a Toyota?
It's funny you say that. The plan was actually to go look at Toyotas because Allison's looking for a new car. So I literally was actually to go look at a Toyota this weekend, not a Yaris. I think she already drives the equivalent, but yes, that is a funny.
Yeah, well, they showed you downhill in the game because you don't want to know how it goes uphill.
Yes, that's what I say about Allison's car, because she drives what are you driving? A Vitz, which I think is essentially the equivalent of a Yaris. It doesn't go like when you put your foot down on the accelerator, it doesn't go any faster. It just makes more noise. So just let you know. Just let you know that it knows that you put your foot down.
It is, it's working. It's
working. It's working. It just nothing's happening. So.
One positive review came from the game Ars Technica in a review titled "Yaris: The Xbox Live Arcade Sleeper Hit of the Year" by Frank Curran. Right. It's simple, it's small, it's fun. Go download it. I'm sure you'll be pleasantly surprised. However, the article included a subscript qualifying that other staff members of the site disagreed with Curran's assessment. Games Reader ranked the game the 33rd on their 50 worst games of all time.
Wow. Yep. Incredible.
Rough. It's okay, Alison. You can buy a Yaris.
Yeah, no.
After you complete this game.
And then I will just quickly say, literally just before the podcast started, Persona 3 Reloaded, of course, because it just came out. I'm an hour into it, which means I literally just got through the cutscenes and I'm standing in front of Tartarus ready to start playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I'm super looking forward to it, though. That's probably going to be my weekend. Yeah. And I think the last thing we've got on the list is Brotato, Phil Spencer's favorite game.
I don't know if any of you guys have touched it, but I added that. I played it for about 20 minutes just before we started. I downloaded a bunch of stuff just to kind of check out some of the new things, and so it is your Vampire Survivor clone. It's got a small space, so you don't work in a very big space at all. I don't think the space gets any bigger, but the enemies just get more intense around the screen. And it follows pretty much the same trend as the Vampire Survivors, with you have to play with every single character and finish run with every character, and just collect X amount of items and kill a certain amount of enemies, up to 10,000 or 20,000 or something, So, yeah. But overall thoughts, it's fun, but I played the Brawler, which is basically starts out with fisticuffs. So each of the different types of characters start off with a different weapon set. And this one was just like a hand-to-hand. They have like a plus and a minus on certain stats as well. And I played the Old Man, which starts with like a snake and a knife. So they kind of played into the comedy a little bit there with a few of the classes, and the Brawler has like a busted eye, and so they definitely had a bit of fun making the game. But it is really straightforward. I'd be interested to see what kind of DLC model that they'll come up with, if they're going to follow the Vampire Survivor trend, and if that's what they're kind of leaning into. But it was fine. So.
I'm surprised nobody on my friends list has already completed it. 6.4 thousand TA doesn't.
It is coming down.
It's going to fall down very quickly. Yeah.
But,
I did a bit of it. I got 194 game score in it just to tee up my game score divisible by 5.
Oh, nice. Yeah. You wanted to fix that up.
So I used that. I'm sitting at 997,585. So I'm going to try and clean up my stuff to 999,000, and then I'll do a stream next weekend for my 1 mil.
Right.
Nice.
I will say Brotato, just quick comments. It is, it's not as engaging as Vampire Survivors.
Sure. Which is interesting because okay.
This is a button masher.
Right.
Even if you're just pressing A, I don't know, I find it a bit more tedious than Vampire Survivors.
Did you? I didn't even press any buttons. I couldn't even find that there were any buttons to press. Did you actually have to press a button?
I was pressing A the entire time to shoot my guns.
Oh, maybe that's what I wasn't doing. I got up to
maybe
level 11 or something on my first run.
Something, I don't know.
So I'm pretty sure it was just you're pointing the direction and shooting. But hey, we played. I'm pretty sure everybody played most of Final Fantasy 15 mashing the button before they realized that all you had to do was hold the button.
Yep.
So look, I don't blame you. So
but I've done 4 complete Wave 20 runs with the first 4 characters and up to Danger 3.
Nice.
So I'm only holding myself back completing this game because I want
to
mill.
Yeah.
Sure. That's probably a nice transition into the book club stuff that you've set up there, Cameron. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So we decided we're having a discussion about a month ago about doing a book club, and we've got some really good ideas for it. Essentially, each of the hosts, plus Alex, I guess. I'm kidding. I'm including him in it. We basically picked a game, and the rules were that everybody in the community could vote for one game, and then the host could vote for a game other than the one they picked. I thought I'd keep it interesting and not reveal which host picked which games. But we did a vote yesterday. The choices were Chicory, Slayer's X, Brotato, Gotham Knights, Cocoon, and Bramble. And even though it says that Gotham Knights and Brotato are tied in the Discord, because my vote is still there, I picked Gotham Knights.
Right.
So Gotham Knights has technically 7 votes, even though somebody changed their votes since yesterday after me saying Brotato. But yeah.
I think I was down for Chicory, I think, and I was fiddling with the things, and I changed it to like Brotato when I was just playing with it, and I think you might have caught it at that time. So
yeah, Zach is rebelling in the chat. He wants more Brotato. You can play both.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with playing Brotato. Yeah. It's a whole month. I'm sure we can get both of the games done.
Bros and Bats month. Mm-hmm. We got a good idea that Kia came up with for the March one, but yeah, it'd be very interesting to see people's opinions of Gotham Knights as well as the racing games that we do during the month.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be very interesting to discuss whether we think the 30 FPS was a bad decision as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right.
If you want to join, that's just the book club channel in the Hall of Gamers Discord.
Yeah, come hang out with us. That's where all of our stuff happens. We also have boosting lobbies for some of the racing stuff as well. And I imagine we'll have a little bit of group get together for some of the co-op stuff in Gotham Knights as well.
Yeah.
I'll just quickly flick through the rest of the stuff here. So we got the Hall of Gamers leaderboards, which is on TA. Basically, every week we look at who's got the most gamer score each week. And in third place, we have Mephisto for the win with 2,615. Grey Shark with 2,940. And me with 4,630, which is the first time I've been on top of this list for a very long time.
Just gives himself a pat on the back.
100%. I'm taking all the credit. I have been working my ass off playing video games this week. Having a great time. So, yeah, congrats to me. Keo, do you want to run through the completion shoutouts there?
Yeah, so the Moonstorm did Turnip Boy Robs a Bank. Left for Legacy did Far Cry 4 and AC Syndicate. Bottle of Sharks did Gravel. Firehawk did Race Pro and Maze. And Shattered Slide did Battlefield 4. So,
nice work, everyone. Cameron, you want to do our Patrons?
Yeah. All right, so we have Lee Howard, Mikhail KV, Nanolator, Mad Lefty 2097, Admiral Awesome, Happy Moogles, Kung Fu Skills, Hack and Pone, Cavalier 07, Old Mick Clown, Mark B, McLevin Legend, Message, Left for Legacy, and McNulty.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate all the support for the show. We literally couldn't afford to do it without you guys. I just paid the Zoom bill today, so that money is going directly back into the show and to our competitions. Speaking of which, the Word Challenge, everyone's favorite competition where I come up with a game and give you guys the worst clues known to man trying to guess what it is. If you go into our Discord and guess the correct name of the game, a gift pops up and you win a prize. You get 1 guess per hour. Feel free to jump in there and give it a go. The previous clues are this game is from a European developer. It has DLC. It's free to play. And the new clue is this game has at least 1 discontinued or unobtainable achievement. I saw some good guesses in there from Alex recently, but I'd love to see some more people getting involved.
I swear to God, if it was World of Tanks.
The fact that Cameron can't spell World of Tanks is also very funny.
Damn it.
But yeah, so good luck to everyone. Go in there and give it a guess. There aren't that many options left over now, so get your spreadsheets and start cross-referencing. And I guess that's going to bring us to the end of the show. As always, we do the show live on Twitch. Xbox Hall of Gamers is the place to find us. Come say hi, hang out in the chat, ask some questions. We love our community engagement. And if you want to find us, let's go around the horn. Cameron, what do you got at Shield this week?
Should I say you on pretty much everything? I will do my 1 more stream. Hopefully next weekend. Yeah, pretty much it.
Great. Keo?
Yep, so you can catch me streaming Resident Evil games. I'm going to do that tomorrow. Actually, I haven't done one this week. At Keo Live at Home on Twitch. You can see that live on YouTube as well, actually, at HDFG Play, where you'll see other videos, as well as on Instagram, where I'm doing some short versions of the videos as well, which one of them has a secret, like not a secret, it's a special little mention of the witness in there as well. So other than that, you'll find me on Twitter where all those announcements will happen at Keel Idaho.
Yeah, there's a reason this is the end of the episode. And Arya, thank you so much for joining us. It was fantastic to have you on, and I love hearing about the kinds of stuff that we just sometimes just don't see in the media, or game dev from places that just doesn't get the coverage that it should. I want to hear what have you got coming up? Anything you want to shill or talk about or get people excited for?
Shill everything.
Sure. So yeah, soon Toge Productions will announce some of our game jam games. So keep an eye of our new games on Twitter and Instagram at Toge Productions, or you can follow also Mojiken Studio at Mojiken Studio on Twitter and Instagram. Also, if you want to follow me, you can also follow me on Twitter at Arya Wi at ARYAWE. And yeah, just wait for our announcements. It's gonna be exciting. Wait for the Whisper Mountain Outbreak, Whisper Mountain Outbreak, play the demo. It's available now on Steam. Also, we have Freaks Front Tactics. You can wishlist it on Steam and also play the demo on Steam. And we also have Test. It's free on Steam. You can play it now. And also wishlist Moses and Plato, Let's Train to Clawville is also available to be wishlisted on Steam. And yeah, just follow our social media and get the latest news from Toge Productions. Thank you so much.
I'll share that stuff in the Discord as well.
Yes, yeah, great. Thanks.
And go and play Coffee Talk and Space for the Unbound as well, because they're fantastic.
Coffee Talk and Space for the Unbound. It's available on every platform.
Exactly, yes. Buy every single copy. All right, well, that's going to wrap up episode 109. Thank you all for listening. We will catch you guys next week. See you later.
Bye, everyone.
Peace out.